Hello and welcome to Class 4 on Social Epistemology. This time, the videos in the class will be divided into 3 parts. For this first part, I'm just going to talk about the role of social epistemology in critical thinking in general and how we're going to be approaching it in this class. Then I'm going to introduce the concept that I am using as the key entryway into social epistemology, testimonial injustice. Then there's an exercise I want you to do. It's a personal reflection exercise. It's not the kind of thing where there are right or wrong answers. Then we are going to come back for the second video where we will relate the exercise to the idea of testimonial injustice and introduce the first part of the reading, which is about power. In order to properly set up the discussion of testimonial injustice, we have to talk about power first. Then there's a second exercise, which tests your comprehension of the reading, and a final video which will cover testimonial injustice itself. So this is a chart you've seen a few times, just outlining the 3 approaches to critical thinking we are looking at. The previous 2 classes gave you previews of the philosophical and psychological approaches. We will be covering these more in detail in the second and third parts of this course. Today we are previewing social epistemology, which, as I said, deals with group aspects of critical thinking, including networks of relationships, information flow, trust, and testimony. This isn't a field that's normally dealt with in critical thinking classes, so there's no consensus on how to approach it. But I'm going to take the key concept to be testimonial injustice, which is what happens when people aren't believed when they should be believed, or alternately, they are believed when they shouldn't be believed. This serves as a major blockage for information across networks. But first, some more review. Epistemology is the study of knowledge, what it is, and how to get it. Then, social epistemology is the part of the study of knowledge that deals with how people work together to create knowledge. This study also includes how dysfunctional social relationships create ignorance. So this is still new, and I'm testing out a grab bag of topics. This grab bag includes very practical topics like dealing with the internet, judging information on the web, dealing with harassment and trolling. I also want to talk about the way people use the internet to deliberately spread disinformation. So here I'm going to be talking about bullshit and propaganda. I'm going to have a whole class also devoted to the way people manipulate doubt. On the positive side, I've got right in the middle a class on trust and good faith. This is the class that's going to discuss how to create proper communities. The concept I'm going to be leading this section off with is something that I'm going to be labeling in-group epistemic distortion. This is a collection of effects that happen when a group becomes epistemically isolated from a larger whole, leading to systematic ignorance. This work has been studied by a variety of scholars, including Nguyen on echo chambers, De Cruz on believing to belong, and Festinger on cognitive dissonance. I wanted to highlight that because I think it demonstrates a lot of the problems that we're looking at right now. But in any case, that's not my way in. My way in is testimonial injustice. So, testimonial injustice is a kind of injustice where one is wronged because one's assertions are not given the right amount of credibility. So, assertions, statements, you say things. People believe them or they don't. When you're asserting something, you're kind of putting something out there as it's a bit of a social chance. You're saying, I think this is true. And some people will immediately accept it. Some people will doubt it. And if they don't do that properly, it's kind of an insult. So testimonial injustice creates barriers across the flow of barriers to the flow of information across networks. Because some people are given too much credibility and some people are denied credibility. And a lot of this relates to people who are not allowed to speak about their own experience or who are told that other people are experts in their experience. So I had a Calvin and Hobbes cartoon the previous class. This class, this is an old Far Side cartoon. Guy's at a bar. He turns to the kangaroo next to him and he says, "Oh, is that so? You might be a kangaroo, but I know a few things about marsupials myself." A consistent problem here is lecturing people about their own experience. And actually, I will confess that this is a lesson that I have had to learn, especially as a teacher. It's taken a while. Problems with critical thinking are universal problems. That is, we all have this roughly the same brains as far as critical thinking is concerned, because we all have the same ability to reason and the same pitfalls in reasoning. So, your first exercise, I just want you to describe a time that you weren't believed even though you were right. And I want you to say why you weren't believed, and did this feel morally unjust to you? Did you feel like you were being wronged because people didn't believe you? And then we'll come back for the second video.